Google gives you many ways to organize the messages in your email account. I'm old school in the sense I like to move messages in my inbox if I'm saving them directly into folders. So as explained earlier, I can take any one of these messages, let's say for example this one, and I can move it directly into a folder. And what that does then is it takes that particular message and it will then move it into that folder and out of my inbox. Technically with Google Mail, you don't necessarily need to use folders. You could use labels, and you'll notice that these particular messages here at the top have this orange Aries label, and that's because I've created this label and I've automatically added rules to incoming messages that if they're from particular people, in this case the Aries Talk list, it automatically tags those messages with this label. Now you can have messages with multiple labels, and I wouldn't necessarily have to move them into any folders, and I could then search by those labels over here in the left hand margin. The labels look very similar to my folders over here. They're almost identical. So if I select a label, it just shows me those messages in that particular label. If I go back to my messages and I go back to another one of these, I want to give this particular one the global Education Network label. I can go over to my labels and I can select that particular label. And apply it, and you'll notice now it's got an inbox label because that's where it originally came, and now it has a Global Education Network label. If I want to make those labels stand out a little bit more, I can go over to my particular label over here in the left hand margin. I can select a color for those labels so that now those particular messages, when they're in the inbox, will stick out as like a sore thumb because I've changed the color of that particular label so that it catches my eye. Now, like I said, in some cases you might be one of the types of users that likes to actually move these particular folders into a label. So if I do that, it acts just like a folder, and I can just click as soon as the hand appears and drag those particular messages into a label. So your labels and your folders are essentially identical. The big difference between labels and folders is that when you're looking at a message in your inbox, and you go ahead and assign it a label, then that particular message will stay in your inbox. So here we can go to maybe Department Ed Tech, tag that particular message with that label, but then that particular message is still going to be in my inbox, and it's not necessarily moved over under this nested Ed Tech folder. It'll be in two places at once.